Well, hey y'all. I'm pretty glad that some of you decided to pop back in and see if there's anything more going on with me. Hopefully you saw my first video, which was kind of a little bit of an apology. Um, I don't know if it was an apology, just like a basic explanation, like, hey, I'm alive, nothing dramatic happened. Um, I've really been in a season of growth, and in that season, I've made a lot of changes myself, and a lot of changes kind of had to get made for me because I just wasn't taking very good care of my body. So I guess the first big change that I made is back in March of 2023, I stopped drinking beer. And that's not to say I stopped drinking alcohol at that time. I just stopped drinking beer. It was when I was first getting really active with everything to do with Maisie Sports, and I was always carrying around these thick, swollen ankles, and my weight was really, really out of control. And so the first move I made was to stop drinking beer and to stop eating seconds at dinner when I did eat. So in lieu of drinking beer, I started drinking those hard seltzers. And so, and then I'd say towards the end of 2023, I started kind of loosely messing around with like intermittent fasting. And there's a lot of information out there on intermittent fasting. I'm definitely not the expert, and I don't want to be claiming that in any way. So you can Google that if you're interested in it. But it's basically just delaying eating in the morning, So breakfast is like breaking your fast. So if you just think about having your breakfast or your first meal later in the day, that's what intermittent fasting is. So you have like a window of time that you don't eat and a window of time that you do eat. And it's supposed to have all kinds of health benefits. But I don't want to be the one to recommend it to people because I think that it's real easy to get into a space with intermittent fasting like I did, where it gets almost too easy to just not really eat because that's what happened for me. My window to start eating would be like at 10, and then I would push it to 11, and then I'd push it to 12. And then some days, I might not eat really at all. But I would still have my Truly, or I would still have, I guess at first I was drinking White Claws. So I would still have my White Claw until I started drinking the Trulies. And just constantly eating very little. Because I really never felt hungry when I got into kind of extreme, not healthy fasting. And, a lot of all of that just really caught up to me and my health over the course of 2024. And 2024, in the end, it ended well for me, but there for a minute, man, I was really on a bad track with my health. And so I've made more changes since that all went down. And with intermittent fasting and not drinking beer and not having seconds when I did eat, it was almost like I shrank my belly quite a bit, so that made it really easy not to eat that much. So I lost like 80 pounds, and that's good because I had clothes that would fit, and then I got real sick. I started getting sick in the summer of 2024, and it all kind of came to a head in August. And then I lost kind of another 20 pounds. But I've gained that 20 back and a little bit since then, but I'm a lot more comfortable at this size here than I was like the last time you saw me. So I'm okay with right here. And because I'm aging, like that extra 20 that I lost after the first 80 really had my cheeks looking a certain way, and it was really aging me. And so my plan now is to kind of go a little bit slower, like getting this. So I gained that extra 20 back that I lost, and I'd say I gained another 20. So I'd like to be somewhere in the middle of those, but no matter what, I want to go into it slow enough that it doesn't cause the skin on my cheeks to look quite so droopy. So, but right now, like I said, I'm not swollen all the time, and I'm not waddling, and I can walk up and down bleachers. So it's really, for me, from here on out, it's about getting stronger and staying in line with keeping myself healthy based on the things that came out of the big health scare that I had from getting so sick in the summer. I'm not going to get into all that today, but that is kind of a brief explanation of kind of looking a little different. Sometimes when you've been big and you've been not so big, your brain really gets messed up with the information that it gives you about how you look. You know, it's definitely sometimes hanging out in the body dysmorphia realm. So a part of me right now feels like I am being, I don't know what that word is, but it's like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm telling the truth because I have gained some weight back. So I guess I'm trying to say that somewhere in my brain it's wanting to take away from the weight that I've lost. But I am not one to do any kind of shots or needles. So I can't stand hospitals, and I would never choose those routes for weight loss. And at this point I know enough about it's an in and out system. You know, the more you eat and the less you do, the bigger you get. The less you eat, the more you do, you kind of stay about the size that you're supposed to be. So that is kind of my goal with that right now, is staying about this size. From a BMI or some kind of chart thing, it would definitely say that I should be probably a good 60 pounds lighter than I am right now, but I don't. It's hard for me to see all my bones like that and feel like I look like that in my face. So I'm either going to be a little chubby at this stage and be happy, or slow-mo it into any other stages. So maybe in our next reconnecting videos we'll get into my getting really sick and the stuff that happened with that. So have yourself a super great day, and I'm having fun getting back and reconnecting with you, and I hope you're enjoying it too. So we'll chat with you again another time.